What's going on, everybody? I don't know if you've all ever seen this show called Punked before, but we're signing in 7 minutes late, and I bet you all were thinking, "Oh, there's probably no wake up show today. What's going on? Are they going live? Are they not?" I used to watch this show when I was in high school called Punked, and they would play pranks on people. I think it was Ashton Kutcher, and anyway, so y'all got punked because you thought that we weren't going to go live today, and here we are. We're live. I'm live. If we want to get really real, from my bedroom. I've got family over, so when family comes over, they take over my home office. So we slide my desk out of the way and put up some weird cot thing, and anyway, so I've got people crashing my office. So that's the beauty of working for. See, you can spin anything. If you work from home, you can spin anything. That's the beauty of working from home. Just pull up a chair in your bedroom. Who cares? Nobody knows. And honestly, nobody really gives a crap. So if you're live with us, tuning in, happy Labor Day. If you're joining us live, drop a little comment and let us know where you're tuning in from. It's always fun to see where people are tuning in from. And if this is your first time, we go live every single Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern. And we have been really since we were doing this for a long time before COVID and everything. But when the pandemic hit, we started going live every single Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, and just started interviewing people, just like, hey, how's it going? What's new in your business? How did you start your little, work from home style business? How did it work? How did you learn? And just unpacking strategies and stuff like that. And we've got another great pair of guests today, a couple. So this will be a fun and really interesting episode, I think. Who's crushing it? I'm not actually sure where they're from or where they're at, because I signed in a few minutes late and was just like, "You ready to go live?" So let's bring in Bruna and Donnie. How are you guys?
Hello, doing good.
Great.
Good. Where are y'all from?
Well, I'm from Brazil.
I'm from Washington, but
Washington.
we originally met and got married in Los Angeles.
Okay, cool. Right on. Well, we've got people from all over the world and all over, certainly all over the United States, but man, our community is pretty large and pretty vast, all over the place. And it's fun to see people from just all over the world who can learn and discover how to, basically make money on the internet, like get their little, it's sort of like a big pie, and you kind of cut out your slice of the pie, and there's enough pie for everybody. So you guys tell us a little bit about you guys. Tell us, bring us into your world. How did you start online? What gave you the idea to start doing content creation online? And you guys have about 1 billion social media channels that you guys are creating content on. Tell us just about how you got started and how did you find us, and had you tried anything before that?
Well, for sure you guys know my sister, Camila. She's
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, she's doing great. And a long time she was trying to, make me go inside this thing, because as you know, I'm an immigrant. It's really hard for me to bring my career to United States. It's a lot of process you got to go through. And she's like,
what did you do for a career?
I graduated in architecture. Yeah, so I have my license in Brazil, but in here it's a long road. So yeah, we decided, after watching her going crazy up on this business, and then we decided to try. Donnie at the time, he was just changing, leaving the Navy. He's a veteran. So okay. Yeah, we kind of like, let's do it, let's try. And yeah, it's working.
Wow, cool. That's really cool.
Military, yes.
Oh yeah, military. I was in the Navy, so I did a deployment and stuff like that. So I was on John C. Stennis aircraft carrier, in Fifth and Seventh Fleet, so Asian and Arab countries, and did a tour. So came back, and I was like, okay, once you're in the Navy or the military in general, it's you come back and it's like, okay, what am I going to do now? So I don't know. We started doing this actually, and I started working at an Air Force base here as a contractor.
We moved.
Yeah, we moved here to Las Vegas, and I started working on an Air Force base as a contractor. But at first, I was doing this full time, and it was working really well for us. And then I was like, okay, maybe I can, do this as a side hustle. So I actually started working on the base and doing this part time, and it wasn't it was still working pretty well, but it wasn't working as well as when I was doing it full time. So I actually stopped doing that, and I'm doing this full time now.
Yeah, wow. It's funny because while he was working part time on Legendary, I was working full time, and then now he's working full time on Legendary, and I am working part time. So yeah,
I love that.
It's good because we have each other to balance and pursuing this 24/7. So 24/7, yeah.
We kind of like switch off back and forth. So it's like when she's, like, oh, I'm getting busy, because she gets some projects, we're able to like move around. And yeah, it's like I look at it as like the military, because the military is like a day and night shift. So it's like when she's off, I'm on. So it's kind of like that, but not necessarily a day and night shift, because we want to spend time together. Yeah. But it's like someone's always able to answer people that have questions or post videos. So it's kind of like it's a good team type deal.
And thanks for this business, we are buying our house here.
Wow! Congrats!
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's super cool, man. Isn't that crazy? Like sometimes I think back like 30 years ago, how like this just like it wasn't a thing. Like it was just like you had your job and that was about it. Like the internet wasn't really a money-making machine like it is now. Man, that's cool. And I love the balance. I love like kind of the teamwork, the camaraderie, the balance between somebody's working, somebody's not. And also like you guys are making great money online, but like I also really love, a couple of years back we had a guy, there was a guy we knew, he was in our community, went through our training and stuff, and he ended up making $1 million, and he kept his job in the Air Force that entire time.
Oh wow.
I think eventually he quit his job, but it wasn't until after he had made $1 million. And sometimes, people are like people will throw out the number like 6 figures, like, ooh, that's when you've made it, and then there's like taxes, and then there's like, we actually have to live. And then like, it starts like boiling away. And I like the sort of the realism of like, no, we're grinding out 2 jobs. We're working our jobs. We're going to buy a house. Cause like sometimes with independent contractor income too, like it's hard to buy a house just off of that, because it's not considered like real income, for a mortgage. So having jobs allows you to buy a house, but also have like supplemental income coming in every single month from the work you're doing online too. Man, that's cool. So tell me about like content creation. Had you guys created content on the internet before, like on social media? Were you on social media?
I'm very shy, especially because my first language is Portuguese, and I'm terrible. Like I'm still learning English. I came here to study English, and I am kind of like dealing with this part. But I never thought I would be in front of camera.
Yeah.
Especially now talking to this a bunch of people. Hi guys.
Isn't that funny how like I don't know. I've been in this industry for 10 years, and over 10 years. And the funniest thing is like every time somebody has like an insecurity like that, it always ends up being their strength. Always. Like every single time somebody from a different country has told me like English is my second language, it's not even my first language, I when I talk, it's like a grammar error when I'm talking. It's like the red squiggly line underneath the word. It's like that's basically me talking. And I was like, well, just imagine if that was your biggest strength, because people a lot of times, with like really polished people who just they're real polished, like I've noticed over the last like 5 years how there's been this sort of shift from the believability factor, like of how people are kind of like, this dude's just too polished, it's too put together, it's too like people really crave that sort of like, man, this is interesting. Like, she doesn't even really like speak like I guess traditionally like accurate English or whatever you'd want to call it. But it just sounds like I'm gonna like lean in a little more because it's like interesting. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. I read this book called called The Gifts of Imperfection. It's a book by Brene Brown, and that's what that made me think of, which is like the whole idea behind it is that every like imperfection that we have um, is hidden inside of it are just tons of gifts and tons of things that are actually like to our benefit. And yeah, it's just funny that you would have that too, because I bet everybody who follows you is just like, are you kidding me? Like, your content's amazing. Like, I love watching your content. Why would you ever think that? But to us, it's like, no, I'm nervous and I'm like worried what people are gonna think. And what about you, Johnny? Had you ever like done any content creation or anything?
No, I mean, the weird thing for me is I was a college athlete, so you kind of get on social media and you have like a fan base and stuff like that. I went to University of Montana, played football there, and ran track there also. But after that, once I joined the Navy, it was actually like put private blockings and like or delete your social media, because people
Oh,
didn't want to, my squadron, they didn't want people to know like what ports we were visiting, and people post that type of stuff. So I actually like went away from social media for a while, and I actually lost like all these. I come back to it and I'm like, whoa, there's like all these extra steps I have to take, or even TikTok to like, I didn't know how to post a video, do color customizer, like change up the videos and stuff like that. So that was
yeah.
a huge learning curve for me. And I thought that it was gonna, I just applied all the skills that I learned in life of like take it step by step, and forming good habits of doing it every day. And I just slowly have gotten better, and it just takes sticking with it, I think.
Man, that's cool. I love that. That just sounds so simple. I just took all of everything I've learned in life, applied it to this. But yeah, I guess, being like an athlete, being in the military, like a lot of those, I mean, in order to have any success in any of that, like you've got to be able to stick with something. You've got to be able to battle through adversity. You've got to be able to take moments of letdown or disappointment and kind of be like, all right, well, we got to push through that. Like you really have to lean into a lot of discomfort in order to be a Division 1 athlete. uh,
Mm-hmm.
so, uh, so you take that, and I think that's a good learning lesson for anybody who's doing anything, is like, hey, a little bit of consistency, like a little bit of just give it some time, start to figure it out. It's more of like, it's like when people come into our challenge, they watch our challenge and stuff. It's like, here's a great baseline for a business that you can run, that a lot of people do run on the internet, and you probably don't realize it until somebody says it to you. But outside of that, it's kind of like you're an engineer a little. It's like you have to be able to like look at all of the different parts and say like, well, how am I going to wire this to this, and how am I going to connect, and start to, it's like you become a pro in YouTubing stuff, because there are pieces and parts of it that are like, you got to figure it out. Like, you just have to figure it out. That's the only answer.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what's the strategy behind all of the social media channels? I don't know how many you've got, but a lot, which is
The
cool.
omnipresence, I think was our goal behind that, because you never know what could. I was, both of us were watching these Wake Up Legendary shows, and we realized that and seeing through our own experience that, Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, one of them can just be like going off, like with showing your content to, like 50,000 people. Then all of a sudden the next day it's like 1,000 or 500 people. So from that, we realized, it's not like, if we have multiple accounts, it's not like we're like being sneaky of having multiple accounts. It's almost like a funnel in a way of like having that omnipresence to bring everybody to show them what truly has helped us to our Wealth Couple Instagram account. Because, and just the idea behind it is just, showing or getting our content in front of as many people as we can.
Yeah. Interesting. With the so lots of different TikTok accounts. So you have lots of different TikTok accounts. Are you running them all from like this? I'm gonna get like real nitty gritty for people here. Are you running them all from the same phones, like in the same app? And then also, are you posting different style content? So let's say you've got 5 accounts, which by the way, for anybody who's here, like you should definitely have multiple, I would say 2 or 3 accounts at all times. That it is just the quintessential thing to have one account on TikTok, get a bunch of growth, start really killing it, and have that account totally wiped out. And then it's like, I think it's over. I think my business is done, right? What a smart thing to have 5 TikTok accounts. But you have 5. Do you post the same content? Do you post similar content? Because I know we interviewed Camila a long time ago, and she had 2, and she was like, well, I post the first video. I think it was her. I post the first video, and then I basically make the same video, exactly the same, but technically it's a different video. She just records it twice. How do you guys go about that? And because I mean, 5 channels, that's a lot of content. How do you do that?
So sometimes we do exactly the same. We going to just change some angles or some words, whatever we are doing. We're gonna do some little thing differently than the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes we do like, let's say we're recording a video in this account, and then in the second one we just record, and then we change already for the second one to record the same. But sometimes we change, like let's record a couple videos today, but we're gonna do, let's say we post one kind of video in this account, and then the other one we're gonna post the different video, and then later on we're gonna switch. You understand what I say?
Yep. Smart.
Yeah. So that's sometimes what we do.
Man. Yeah. God, it's simultaneously so easy, but yet there's complexity to it. Like if you really boil it down, it's a pretty simple content creation strategy. And I think, sometimes people view having multiple, like 3 accounts or something as like, oh my gosh, how can I ever manage that? But really, you boil the content down. Once you get down to the base layer, it's like, oh, this is not that complicated. But it is a really good, and it's almost like an insurance policy in a lot of ways. But also, if you think about it, because you have an account with like 70,000, you have an account with 18,000, you have an account with 4,000, you have like lots of different. But if you think about it, you're kind of like broadening, broadening the funnel. Like if you view the channels as like the top of your funnel of like where you're just pouring people in and funneling them down, like you're just making that bigger and larger and opening it up more for people to find and discover you. Do you find that you have overlap in followers, or have you not really noticed that?
Sometimes people will message multiple accounts, but usually people aren't stupid, and they find that Wealth Couple Instagram account, and they kind of realize, like, I think I noticed that people notice that we're just, trying to get them to the Wealth Couple and truthfully showing them, the right information and stuff, because people literally alert us when there are scam accounts, because those do happen. There'll be other scam accounts that are like trying to get people to go to like crypto and stuff like that. And
Yep.
You know, we have people that we've earned their trust and they let us know. And because we usually don't know because they block us, you know, they block us and then write to other people, but it's usually pretty obvious and people, you know, can tell.
Or sometimes they come from my TikTok, my personal one, not my personal, my Bruna, Wealth Bruna, and they see our Instagram, so they talk directly, you guys, not Bruna, you know. So,
yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, interesting. Huh. Yeah, that's fascinating. I so you guys have, I mean, from all of those accounts, you just got leads coming in every day, right?
Yeah.
Like on average, do you have a guess of how many leads on average a day you generate from all these accounts?
It really
daily I don't have.
Yeah.
Last time I checked, we had more than 20K leads.
Yeah, you got like a big list, right? Like tens of thousands.
Counted it. Like it's a lot of things. Like a lot of people want to see the number or like thinks there's some statistical chart that we have, and it's like it's not.
I never checked.
It's not. We just have. It's going good. It's going good, and we keep doing that, and that's about it. You know.
You don't stop what's working.
Yeah, you don't change anything that is working, especially hashtags, the same style, lights, angle. So
Yep.
I never check.
Well,
I never go back to the numbers.
Yeah. No. I just think the only reason I was asking is just because I think it's just a powerful thing for people to hear and see that I mean, you guys are probably generating like 50 leads a day or 100 leads a day or something like that. I don't know, but it's just every single day from that content. But the cool part is like, here's what people underestimate. Sometimes when people like view followers nowadays on TikTok, because they're so easy to come by, so easy. I mean, back in the day, it was like you really couldn't get followers. Like it was like to generate a lead, you had to go out and like buy a Google ad. Like you had to pay for Google ads, and it was like $3 a lead. So it was like now you can post a video, you can get 10,000 followers from a single video, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I think people underrate and underestimate. I mean, you guys have hundreds, well, not hundreds of thousands, but you've got at least 100,000 people following you and tens of thousands of people on your email subscriber list that, you know, you can metaphorically dial up and be like, hey, like you could type a really powerful email and get a lot of people to take action or make a meaningful decision or something, that's really powerful. It's really cool. Recently, that reminds me, recently, Josh Smith, he's in our community, and he recently, maybe a year ago or so, was about to quit his business and realized that he was like, man, I got a lot of people on my email list. And so he just like started writing emails. Like he was like, I'm going to spend some real time, and started just generating so much income. He was like, I did not realize, you know, I knew I had subscribers, but I didn't think of them like people who are actually opening and being like, man, I want to know what Josh says today. You know, like it is a really powerful thing. Do you guys feel like, are you guys also, do you do any long form content, or is most of your stuff short form video on Instagram and TikTok and stuff?
I think for me, can I talk?
Bruno, okay, go ahead.
So for me, what I was saying is that so I was doing short form content, and then I kind of realized, like, just like we were just talking about the follower thing, and I realized, you know, it isn't. It's a new age. It's not just about how many followers you have, and people can buy followers nowadays and stuff like that too. And so what ultimately, you know, what we saw really mattered was getting the message out. And with like Instagram Reels, TikTok, Facebook Reels, all those, you know, get the content out. It doesn't even matter how many followers you have. So
the time of the videos for me is short, because first, I don't like to speak. I don't think I like to speak at all. So So I kind of do videos that I don't say anything. I just I type really good. My English is starting. It's perfect, but when I have to say it's not. I mean, I can deliver a message, but I don't feel too confident. I would be more confident in speaking Portuguese, of course, but yeah. So
But it's hard to reach a Portuguese audience when you're creating content in the United States.
yeah, I know. And yeah, so
Totally.
that's why I don't say anything. I mean, I could say, but I get so nervous. Sometimes I say one wrong word and then I F the video and I have to redo again, you know. So that's what I don't. Yeah. So I don't go much speaking, so I go short.
Yeah. That makes sense. What? Okay. Here's I wanted to rewind for a second back to your journey back to February. Here's one thing that I was curious and I forgot about till just now is two things. One, I'm going to come back to that no speaking thing because I have a little note on that. Two, so when you heard from Camila about like our challenge, you actually went and purchased our blueprints, which I remember I was thinking back to that and I was like, that's kind of interesting because a lot of times people who are like, they have a friend or something, they'll tell about Legendary or something, and they'll be like, just go purchase the challenge. Like, you might not need to buy the blueprints or something like that. And at least, or even not necessarily the blueprints, but that happens a lot of times with like higher priced products. They're just like, well, I'll just teach you, like I'll just show you. Don't worry about whatever. So I was curious about your decision to purchase the blueprints, even with your sister being uber successful. And what was the thought process there?
So, in the beginning, we were like kind of debating, should we buy, should we not? But Donnie just left the Navy. He had his free time trying to figure out what else he could do. And then we talked and we decided, you know what? Let's learn. Let's learn from scratch, from the best. So that's how we end up deciding to buy. I think was the best decision because you can kind of get lost sometimes. So you guys guide very well with the blueprints and stuff. So that's how we decided let's go, because we are kind of like a blank page. So let's get everything we can in the right way.
Yeah, it's just like people ask me all the time too, like what am I going to learn and stuff like that. And if we didn't get the blueprints ourselves,
you don't know what to say.
Not only would I not be learning, but I wouldn't be able to experience and share what I've learned.
Yeah, totally. That's that. It sounds like it sounds a little, I don't know. It sounds complicated, but it's really not. It's just like, hey, like I've done everything like that. Well, so here's something that's really interesting to me is, so check this course out. Hopefully you guys can see this. Let me make sure. Yeah, okay. So this is actually inside of our business blueprints. And this is the affiliate blueprint. And so you were just talking, here's what came to mind when you said, I'm not doing a lot of talking in our videos. Recently, this girl right here, Andrea, who's from Peru, she did let me highlight this. There we go. She did a little presentation at one of our masterminds called How I Made Six Figures on TikTok Without Speaking. And this presentation inside of our blueprints is all about how she was able to, and it's all about her strategy because she does the same thing as you guys with a bunch of different accounts. So it's a very similar like setup. Anyway, we just added this into the blueprints maybe 4 days ago, something like that. And the cool part about purchasing our blueprints is like we did, like you guys didn't get an email that was like, hey, you got to pay another $50 to get this upgraded training. It's just like, you guys probably didn't even know it was in there till just now. And her strategy, she unpacks like her strategy, and she lives in Peru, and she's crushed the content creation strategy. But like she does the same thing. She's like, well, like English is my second language. Like I actually don't speak English that well. So she just points, like she just sits there, plays music, and just like points and grows huge followings. What a stupid, simple way to like, my mind is blown by that. It's so insane, but it's a really clever train. It's like a 45-minute training and it's a really clever strategy. It seems like you've just basically mastered the exact same thing.
I do exactly the same.
I think that's one thing I tell myself is it doesn't have to be like, sometimes you think it has to be like, switching screen like 20 different times, like put a flash in there and stuff like that. But start realizing that it's more the message that you get across that really matters. So you can simplify it and just be yourself, because your business is your business. So it doesn't have to be like someone else's. It can be, your strength could be that you simplify it and you're not having all these flashes where people have to, it's hard to read and stuff like that. So I think that's one thing that helped me to continue this is to realize that you can just simplify it and that can be your strength.
Yeah. Ooh, that's really good. Simplify, simplify, simplify. There's a concept called direct response marketing, which is really like the basis of a lot of like, well, not direct sales, but of really good marketing that has clear messaging. That's really the center of it all, is like you're kind of just speaking the direct response marketing language of like, it's all about the messaging and it's all about clarity. It's all just about, am I clear about the message? Am I clear about what I want people to do? And a lot of times what I think happens is people try to get cute and they try to overcomplicate stuff. There's a difference between like getting cute and being confusing versus being creative in marketing. So a little bit of creativity and really clear messaging. And then I think the third piece, which you touched on, is giving people a super clear call to action. It takes like a little bit of like belief in yourself. It takes a little bit of moxie to be like, here's exactly what I want you to do next. Because that's like whoa, like that's intense. Like you really got to believe in what you're saying. You can't just kind of bullshit that. Like you got to really believe like, hey, this is exactly the steps you need to take next. And that's when people really start to take action, and your business starts to move, because people's behavior, if they feel any sort of sense of like, I'm unclear here, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do next, what do they actually want me to do? Like, I don't get it. It's like nothing happens. There's no conviction. There's no, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. We kind of try to make clear the way you say, make it clear visually and the message. So yeah.
So smart. But you can also go the other way. When you try to make things really clear, you can lose a sense of like fun and entertainment. So you also got to kind of keep that a little intrigue. Like marketing is about grabbing people's attention. So marketing, that's why marketing's hard. That's why you have to learn. You guys talked about learning the skills. It's like you have to actually learn how to like grab somebody, pull their attention out, but then also like make it really clear, like, okay, now that I've got your attention, this message is going to be real clear. Here's the message. But I love that. Crystal clear messaging is, no wonder you guys are successful.
Yeah. That's awesome. We try to make it simple.
Try to make it simple and a little bit more direct is where I think we've been going lately. Yeah. Just try to be direct with people. Who doesn't want someone to just be direct and tell them, this is what it is. This is what it is. So
less is more sometimes, most of the time. Less is more.
Totally. Less is so much more. So much. The amount of things that we have changed at Legendary over the last 4 years is almost nothing. And the reason is we know the backstory and history of this industry, which is, people, influencers, and businesses even, they'll launch a course. That course will run for a year and it'll disappear. And then in about, lucky if it's a year, maybe like 6 months, and then they've got a hot new thing coming out in in a year and a half, and people do this in this cycle and just keep buying these hot new things, hot new things, hot new things. And we wanted to find a timeless business model and then just not change anything, like add to it, update it, sure, but keep it the same, keep it rock solid, keep so people, not just our affiliates, but actually like our students can learn, go implement it, come back, learn again, implement it, and they have a place that's like, this is still familiar, nothing's really changed, this is all the same, like and simplify it, strip it down, and yeah, simplify it. Less is more. It's so smart. Basically, we would boil that down to, hopefully we don't get some sort of Facebook shadow ban for this, but if you've got kids, plug your ears, plug their ears. Dave said at a recent mastermind, he said, I basically, somebody said, Dave, what's your morning routine like? You've got to have this really intricate routine, and you must wake up at 5 a.m. and, pound a cup of coffee and, do 100 push-ups. And, I mean, how do you do it? And he's like, honestly, I wake up and I say a little prayer to, whoever, and I say, please help me not fuck this up today. And that's basically it. Like, let's keep the tires on. Let's keep this extremely simple. And every time something shiny comes flying at my face and I'm like, whoa, like make sure there's people around me who can like give me a hard slap across the face and say, hey, focus. It's simple. Keep it simple. Don't get distracted. Less is more. And that's what people appreciate over time. We often call it a boring business model, a simple, boring business model. It's not shiny, but guess what? A lot of times shiny involves a lot of volatility. All those people talking about, hey, come day trade with me on TikTok, and they're live and they've got 18 screens open. And, it's like, okay, yeah, I don't really want to lose $32,000 and then get it 34,000 the next day. And like, I don't like a heart attack every day. I like something pretty boring and like simple and,
Yeah.
consistency. Yeah. Consistency. And honestly, in a lot of ways, it's outlasting people. It's like, it's just, some people are just not going to come to the gym every day. And if you keep going to the gym day after day after day after day, you'll just outlast them. You're not even better than them. You're not even more talented or smarter than them. It's just pure grit and just outlasting people. And I think for you guys, like in your category, there's like a threshold. So like there's the initial kind of like, let's say $10,000 success, and then like there's a 6-figure success, and then I would say between 100,000, 300,000. There's a lot of people who kind of drop off in that realm because they're like, oh my god, that was a lot of work. I made it. I peaked or whatever. And then there's like a select few who are like, cool, made it to 100. Now I've got to settle into this rhythm, and I can just keep it. I can sustain it. I'm going to do boring shit every day. I'm going to do my content. And this is like, this is going to be my life now. And they build and they build and they build, and it keeps going. But those people, we've got some people in our community who've been doing it for, 2, 3, 4 years, and they just kind of outlast people, and they're no longer super flashy, but they're doing their thing in the background and making great money on the internet, and people don't really know who they are, and it's just boring. But for them, they're like, dude, I hang out with my kids all day. Like, this is awesome.
That's the goal.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Totally. And it's fun. And it's so, all right, I'll leave you guys with the last words for people who are just getting started, just getting ready to post that first video. They're a little nervous. They're like, I'm not sure. I'm about to hit post, but I might, have to say F this video. What would you say to those people?
I would say, from watching one of the earlier videos, Wake Up Legendary morning shows, if you miss one day, you're likely to miss another day. So show up every single day and make that a habit no matter what. And slowly things get better. You'll start,
learning how to do better. Just start. Yeah. You're gonna kind of shape on the way. You're gonna shape yourself on the way. But
wow. Both of those that's really deep, really great advice. Like, learn it's a process and become okay with process. Yeah. Wow, that is such great advice, man. Like, even for me, that hit home, because it's like process is hard. Process is really, it's complex. You've got to sort of accept the reality of where you're at today. Man, that's awesome. Thanks for that. Guys, where should people follow you? Where would you prefer?
We are out there.
I think at Wealth Couple on Instagram that's our like base. So everything funnels into the Wealth Couple.
TikTok Wealth
Instagram,
Couple.
TikTok at Wealth Couple. We actually posted a $, which we're not supposed to do. So that's something to take note of. So we actually had our like a 24-hour hold on that. So we actually are back on. So our profile picture will show again at like 11 o'clock this morning. So you can follow us at Wealth Couple on TikTok also.
Yeah.
But your accounts?
Yeah. Hustle with Brew, BRU, and Wealth Brew. So yeah, we have a bunch.
They're all over, guys. They're all over. Here we go. All right, we'll put the IG. You can also find it at Hustle with Brew, at Wealth Couple, all kinds of stuff. But find them at their home base, Wealth Couple on Instagram. That's the best spot to go find them. Follow them. Guys, thanks for coming on. This was so great. You had so many gold nuggets in this. This was awesome.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, man.
We'd love to have you back on. We'll probably reach out in a couple months and see if you want to come back on. We'll have you on with Dave, and then he can meet you guys, and be awesome.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Peace. All right, guys. So if you're listening and not watching, it's just Wealth Couple, and search them on Instagram. You'll find them right away. Just so everybody knows, there's a bunch of other accounts that are trying to basically, they're like scam accounts that are like, it's like Wealth Couple with like a period at the end of it, or it's like there's a bunch of other. It's just straight up Wealth Couple. So if you see other ones on there, just ignore them. There's scammers out in the internet, and just is what it is. That's the internet 2022, social media 2022 right now. So find them on Wealth Couple. You can find Hustle with Brew, BRU, at on TikTok. Go find their profiles, give them a follow, let them know you found them on Wake Up Legendary, and have a great rest of your Labor Day. We'll be back here tomorrow, Tuesday, 10 a.m. Eastern. As always, we're always here every single day, every single weekday.